Well, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I just want to start by welcoming all of you in our second session of the AFF Foundation's Forum Members-Led Sessions. Those sessions are really designed by our members who want to discuss certain subject matters and increase awareness about a specific topic amongst the largest AFF network. Today's session is led by COSV, which is an Italian NGO working in development cooperation for more than 40 years, and they operate worldwide. COSV adopts a human-centered collaborative approach that prioritizes the understanding of local contexts and local needs to ensure that development strategies are tailored to the unique socioeconomic, cultural, and environmental aspects of each community. COSV supports civil society organizations and works on community development, social cohesion, sustainable tourism, employability, technical and vocational education and training, entrepreneurship building, and social entrepreneurship across the Arab region, the Balkans, and Africa. 3 years ago, COSV founded CoProfit. CoProfit is a benefit corporation focused on social, sustainable, and inclusive development, and CoProfit is an AFF member. In today's session, we are aiming to provide a comprehensive overview of emerging social entrepreneurship models in Lebanon and underscores the significance of these models in advancing human rights and catalyzing market transformation to equip donors and investors with a clearer understanding of how to effectively target their programs to maximize efficacy. Well, I think I took a long time, so at this stage, I would like to introduce our moderator for this session, Aisha Habli, Social Justice Incubation Program Manager at COSV. Aisha is an economic development expert specializing in small and medium-sized enterprises and entrepreneurship. She has more than 10 years of career experience within support platforms, including managing programs, events, financing, research, business development, and counseling in Lebanon and within West Asia and North Africa. Aisha holds a master's degree in biomedical engineering from Rafi al-Hariri University. And Aisha, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Walid. I hope everyone's doing good. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are joining us from. Today, we're going to share a little bit about the work that CoProfit is doing within the context of our work within COSV, the Italian Development Cooperation. My colleague Annalisa, who is our social solidarity economy expert and the director of the social economy unit at COSV, will share a little bit briefly more about COSV and our work.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, everybody. And first of all, thank you to the Arab Foundation Forum for this opportunity. Today, we will take a journey in one of, let's say, the most experimental and also successful challenging project that we are running in Lebanon that I will explain briefly how this experience is the basis, let's say, of our strategy. If you can go with the slide, Aisha. As a cause, we are, first of all, quite old NGO that was established more than 40 years ago. As you can imagine, along the decades, we change different strategies and approaches. And in almost 15 years ago, we decided to completely concentrate in the Balkans and MENA region and Africa, specifically focusing on program on socio-economic development. And as Walid already said, we are specialized with using, human-centered design. In 2018, along with this strategy, we decided to create an internal social economy unit. The unit is quite very flexible and has the aim to support cross-cultural knowledge between local experts and international experts that are working in COSV project mainly. Inside the unit, there was this, let's say, hybrid transition moving from the NGO mentality to the entrepreneurship, let's say, mindset, and together also with the staff that was working with us, we have created in 2021 our benefit corporation. Next slide, please. To make it short, the type of work that the COSV is doing and also the sustainability model that is trying to build is composed between, let's say, 3 pillars. COSV has international NGO is pursuing the do not harm principle. The unit was born to support the COSV team across the world to apply this do not harm principle in the socio-economic, overall social entrepreneurship world. It seems weird to affirm that sometimes social entrepreneurship can harm the context. This is a lesson learned that we did if we do not apply, let's say, a very wide, comprehensive approach to this term in the local context where we are. That's why the unit has created his own methodology, his own way of doing business development, combining the development cooperation principle with the business one. CoProfit is supporting COSV definitely in and is the business unit of COSV, mainly working as supporting the spin-off, the different spin-off of the project that COSV is producing, but also exploring new hybrid resources, not only grants, but also through service. We engage the staff in the entrepreneurship journey of CoProfit, trying to capitalize the human intelligence we have developed. Next slide. Currently, these are the major projects that we are running on social entrepreneurship and social economy. These are not only the project of COSV, but those that the unit is specifically handling. We are in the Balkans, in Montenegro and Albania with project related social green agriculture and sustainable tourism. In Damascus, we just start innovation center and in tech incubation program. And of course, in Lebanon, we have Sea Change, the project that has just concluded, and we will hear from today some important insight from this project. The next one. The story that you will hear today and also the information we are trying to share with you comes from a long reflection we did in COSV team with the different staff across the region. The major challenge that we still see for social entrepreneurship in a really advancement and having impact is the external, let's say, pressure that is country like MENA region and Balkans region are receiving from, let's say, a strong attention to this concept. At the same time, how this concept should be solve all the problem in the country and at the same time be self-sustainable and self-independent. In the major advanced ecosystem, this problem was faced in a more long-term decades. What we are seeing now in Balkans and MENA, social entrepreneurship should solve all this problem in a very short period because again, the topic, the relevance, the attention is very recent. That's why we have created Sea Change, the project that we are hearing today. My colleague will explain it better, but for us, it's not only a project, but is the reality check of this theory, how we can adopt a different way to promote social entrepreneurship, combining the do not harm and the sustainability and impact on, let's say, governance, local governance, and institutional building. Thank you for attention. I will leave the floor to my colleague.
Thank you, Annalisa. I'll quickly brief about the Social Justice Incubation Program, which is an incubation program within the context of the Sea Change project that my colleague Annalisa has mentioned. Within the context of testing new collaborative models for social enterprise, I would like to highlight the idea of collaboration as being a main theme in our activity. Within the project, we have supported 21 social and solidarity economy initiatives, but they're not just 21 initiatives on their own. If we look closer into them, they're basically comprised of collaborations between more than one entity, whether it is individuals, NGOs, already existing social enterprises and SMEs, public authorities such as ministries and municipalities, universities, and foundations. We ended up with a total of 48 organizations and institutions, as mentioned, collaborating to share resources, to share experience, to share talent and know-how within different regions across Lebanon and to tackle different SDGs. The budget of the project was around $700,000, which were seed grant fund directly invested in these projects. And each of the 21 initiatives with a grant of about $20,000 to $50,000 within the context of the theme of the project and the size of the project, ran an incubation program of about 16 months. And in these 16 months, they had not just received grant funding, but coaching, 16 COP events, different co-design workshops, and even a regional peer exchange program that will help them adopt and stabilize sustainable collaborative models for addressing the social and solidarity economic solutions that they were presented. Just a quick look at the projects that or the initiatives that were supported that today continue in different formats. Out of these 21 initiatives, 14 were at the startup phase, but it was just not about the startups. There were also projects at growth stage and maturity stage as well. We will definitely hear from different colors of the spectrum of the projects that we supported and participated in the incubation program throughout this entertaining panel. I hope that you will enjoy it. Now, to talk more about the scope of this session, as we mentioned, we'll hear more about examples and case studies of the participants of the incubation program, particularly with a reflection of the policy frameworks and the studies that were developed within the SE unit at COSV in collaboration with CoProfit. And before we delve deeper into the details, I will give the floor to my colleague Mohammed Makki, who will share with us more about the synthesis of the study, so that not only we're listening to the case studies, but in the format of this panel, we will also hear about the policy framework, design, and assessment based on each case study, which is unique. My colleague Mohammed Makki is an economist. He's also the co-director of the Social Economy Unit at COSV and at CoProfit. The floor is yours, Mohammed.
Thank you so much, dear Aisha. Thank you everyone for attending. So I would definitely go over a little bit some theories behind what we created or how we designed this whole program. And this is basically, this triangle represents basically the institutional trajectories and the resulting SE models that was developed by Deferney and Nysens in 2016. We used it in order to understand the scope and the categories that we actually created for our incubation program. So as you can see, there's the general interest, there's the capital interest and mutual interest on the angles of this triangle, where the institutions fitting under each one are moving towards the social interest and having hybrid resources. So after we conducted a feasibility study for the grounds in Lebanon to understand social entrepreneurship and then to see what the ground can potentially provide. basically, we created 4 categories. We ended up with 4 categories because the ground told us that most of the institutions or enterprises are social businesses, but we needed to pilot to see if there are public social enterprises, entrepreneurial nonprofit, and social cooperatives. That's why we created 4 categories that were incubated during this program, which are the NGOs in transition and the school enterprise specifically program, the public-private partnership, as well as the community enterprise. And one of the very important aspects within this project is the collaboration. It was a must where we actually forced it in a certain way. We only accepted applications that were 2 or more entities applying together for the grant. So they could not participate on their own, but they had to collaborate with each other in order to participate and apply for the project. So that's why we had, for example, private entities partnering with private entities or with NGOs, or we had a private institution partnering with a public sector and so on. So, Aisha, please, if you can move on. To the next slide. Yes. So, yes, thank you. This is just a picture from one of our CIAP events. This is basically what the pilot came up with. As we said, we have at the end of this whole project we developed 4 policy papers, and today we are focusing on 2 of them, the major 2 of them. As you can see, the 21 initiatives were clustered within this triangle, and we had plenty of them, which are entrepreneurial nonprofit institutions, organizations, social businesses, public social enterprises, as well as social cooperatives. And as you can see, we have some of them which are dashed. And that was not surprising, but was very interesting to see that some of those projects were identified as a combination between an entrepreneurial nonprofit and a social business, or, for example, a social cooperative entrepreneurial nonprofit, and so on. Just one thing to elaborate here, because we're talking about social entrepreneurship or social enterprise, and it's very important to stress the fact of hybrid resources, where those enterprises usually don't rely only on grants, but they also have the revenue stream that is being generated by their production activities. So this multiple way of finding resources was very important for the sustainability of the enterprise. So now I will be, Aisha, please, if you can move on to the second slide. This is one of the major impact or the outcomes of our findings after we closed the incubation program. And as you can see, the public social enterprises and the the entrepreneurial nonprofit organization, or the models, they mostly contribute to the provision of the basic services, as, for example, education, and the example that I will be explaining afterwards, and to the social inclusion and cohesion, as well as livelihood. If you can see at the bottom of this matrix, you can find the social cooperatives and social businesses that perfectly fit and impact inclusive job creation and sustainable market transformation. Now I will be moving to one of the very successful piloted school enterprise model. We actually piloted 3 specific school enterprises. They are public vocational institutes. And in Lebanon, they are limited to specific conditions because they are under the direct supervision of the General Directorate of the Vocational Education. So they cannot receive grants by themselves. But what we created, or what we piloted, is the collaboration between those public vocational institutes as well as the private sector organizations or companies. So, for example, we had 2 vocational schools working in the dairy production, and they collaborated with 2 companies as well as working in the dairy production. And then one of them is working in the carpentry. It collaborated also with a carpentry company. As you can see, what we have done is that this collaboration helped them through the private company to use their facility, which is an unused space at their premises. And this private company, received the fund from the incubation program. and they upgraded this facility to become a production facility. And then after that, in parallel, they also updated their curricula to reflect the market needs. And then the production started happening after the students and the staff already got trained on this new curricula. They started using the facility in producing. They produced, of course, dairy products as well as carpentry, like chairs, cabinets, and so on. And then they started engaging the community in supporting the production. So women in the rural area and other participants started participating in the program and getting trained. And they entered the market through the private sector, basically to sell their products, of course. And then after that, which is very important, as you can see, the generated revenue is reinvested back into this facility to upgrade the facility, lower the cost of the school, and enhance the production and the quality of the services that the school is actually providing. Please, if you can move, Aisha, to the exactly those pictures. So this is basically one of the just before one, the previous one. Yes, this is the Ajaltoon Technical School collaborating with the Ratrak company, and they are producing fromage. It's a type of cheese. The second one is La Belle Blanche collaborating with Batloon. If you can please move. Yes, they are producing, if you know Labne, it's they call it Mdakara, and they entered the market and they now are selling. And we have also the Kwene School, that collaborated with MDCN company, and they are producing, as you can see, different chairs, different types of carpentry products, and they are entering into the market, and now they have several projects where they are providing many job opportunities to their own students and to as well as self-employment opportunities to their graduates. The last slide, please. Yes, and as you can see, this is a public social enterprise model because the school is a public entity. It collaborated with a private company, and they actually provided basic services, which is education to all, and they also supported their students and their staff to enter into the market and sell as well as generate revenue. I think we can move to the second model. Yeah.
Thank you, Mohammed. As we further explore new innovative ways of social enterprise within the social and solidarity economy, we will start with our next panelists. Our first panelist is Nibal Dahouk. She's the founder and CEO of the Zero Waste Community and the co-founder of the Green Circle Partnership. She is going to share with us more about their initiative and the experience that they've done through sea change within the context of the incubation. Without any further ado, Nibal, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us, and thank you for this opportunity, to join the COSV SJIP Sea Change program, and for the opportunity to be able to talk about our experience in this program. So what you see are emotional pictures. That's why when we look at our pictures, we feel happy and proud, despite all the challenges that we will pass through. Our project is a collaboration among 3 entities. A social enterprise, a company, and an NGO. This collaboration of 3 entities was built upon a concept of trying to solve the problem of wastes in our area, in Shuf area. At first, we didn't start specifically in Shuf area, but that was the thing that put us together, the 3 entities. The project was built on 3 pillars: one, environmental pillar, social pillar, and economic pillar. We started with the Gerbalizer, which are the ones who manage organic waste. We ourselves at Zero Waste Community, we work in the medium of providing solutions to manage non-organic waste. And the Kentenes is a social company that provides environmental solutions for packaging and shopping. So basically, it's an environmental friendly shop. So you go there, you take your own packaging with you. You choose how much you want to sell, you want to buy from items, and you pay according to what you can purchase. So we put all this concept together to be able to benefit a local entity, because in the problem, while we were solving this problem, we were thinking about the cost of the waste management that's happening in Lebanon in general and in municipalities in specific. We also were thinking about the landfills that are day by day becoming full of non-sorted waste, and it's also causing more and more pollution in the sea and in the water in Lebanon. And as well, we were thinking about the roles of the municipality and the local committees who were part and parcel of our work throughout the project. We decided the project to be entitled the Green Circle because it works on a circular economy model. It's basically for us to encourage the local community in Shatfin village, which is a rural village in Shuf area, who had the local committee who was very interested in solving this problem with us. They were active on ground and they supported us. And you can see them in the pictures as well. They helped us infuse this concept of solving the waste management problem within the whole village. And at the same time, they had their own role in taking responsibility for that. And that's how we activated the citizenship in each and every person in the village. So we ended up creating a local warehouse, if you wish. And in that warehouse, we were able to manage the organic waste managed by Gerbalizer, to manage non-organic waste managed by Zero Waste. And at the same time, we created a reward link with the Kentennes, for which people are rewarded, actually at first evaluated how they are sorting their waste, and then accordingly they earn discounts from the Kentennes, which is also an environmental friendly option. So basically, it's creating this economic circle to be able to fund the project to go on. The outcome of joining SJIP was mainly for us the partnerships, because as I said before, even in our latest video that we published on our website for COSV and Sea Change, we're not lacking any initiative. We're lacking the collaboration between these initiatives to be able to make bigger impact, and at the same time to be able to connect all these initiatives for one bigger vision. And that's what we really believed in. Knowing Gerbalizer, the Kentennes, and you know that we have stretched out thin from Beqa to Shuf to be able to create the solution for a village. The links that we made throughout this program, knowing more about other initiatives who have the same objectives or have different objectives but could be linked to our project, whether specifically at the Green Circle in Shatfin or to our own entities who created this project. That's what we consider was a strength in the program, in addition to being able to implement such a model, because we believe that municipalities can take over such solutions and themselves manage these projects. So we wanted to model for them the way to do it and to support them and guide them throughout until they are able to take over this responsibility and be able to manage their own waste in a local way, in a centralized way, so that we minimize the impact on a bigger scale. Aisha, am I still on time?
You're doing great.
All right. So our project was enhanced by SJIP by the way the whole team facilitated our work, how they advised us, how they guided us through many steps. We all know that waste management is a tough turf to step in. It's like walking in a minefield. So we were, alhamdulillah, supported by everybody to the best that they can. Even when we reached extensive care needed, everybody was there for us, and they tried to help us to the maximum possible to make things happen. And thankfully, things have really happened for us. And we're still going on, and we're still fighting all the struggles that we might face for one simple reason, because the people of this village, they really started this ripple effect. They wanted to change their village into a zero waste village, and that's where it all started. And that's why we landed in Shatfin such a project. We're looking forward. Actually, we also asked COSV for us to have extension for such a program, because really it was very beneficial. It's not just very beneficial, it impacted our work. Like even for us as Zero Waste, it transformed our way of thinking and our way of either applying for funds, receiving funds, or implementing them. Even the logistics of implementing such a project was a big hand for us. So whatever I described this project for you about in details about, I wouldn't give it its due diligence, because really the amount of effort that was put on ground is not one person's effort. Definitely, I'm here to represent all these people, who put all this effort for this project to be there for you to go and visit and see and have a look at and even measure for an impact. So thank you for the opportunity, everyone.
We're also very happy to see you continue because it's for a bigger cause and because it's a community co-led initiative, you will get there and you are on your way, well on your way. Thank you, Nibal.
Thank you.
Muhammad.
Thank you so much, Nibal. It's good to see you again. So I will wrap up what Nibal said from a policy perspective and the conclusions that we have made in the policy papers. As you can see, we've modeled this project, and you can start with the private warehouse where Nibal is running the zero waste community, where they used to sort the waste in this rural area. But then the collaboration that they had with the Green Circle, as well as with the Cantonese, and then with the municipality, helped them to create a second public warehouse in the area that, or in the land that the municipality provided in the village of Pshetfin. And of course, the efforts that they put as zero waste community, Garbalizer, as well as the Cantonese, they started organizing and sorting and collecting the waste from the people living in Pshetfin. And then, of course, those people participating in this exercise, they are actually privileged to have a sort of card from the Cantonese where they can buy with a discount. And of course, after they provide their waste, they take the waste and they recycle them using the support of Garbalizer, and then the recyclables are sold, and then the amount of revenue and profit generated is actually reinvested again in the waste management facility that is in Pshetfin. So this is, in a nutshell, the model, how it works. And if we go to the policy part, Aisha, please, if you can proceed to the second slide. You will notice here that there is a third interesting model, which is an entrepreneurial nonprofit plus a social business that was created out of this pilot, because they actually this Green Circle has transformed into this market with this activity, and they are and they supported the participatory governance of this model, where the whole community, including the households, the municipality, and the people involved in this project, are helping in removing the waste and changing Pshetfin into a zero waste village, let's say. So this is very interesting to see that the collaborative and the collective efforts being made by the responsibles as well as the community members have created a different type of villages, specifically in Pshetfin. Thank you, Nibal, again. Thank you, Aisha. Maybe we can go to the second model.
Our next model that we will explore is the social cooperative model of NDC, or the Lebanon's National Development Committee. It is the Agriculture Revival Program project, and we will hear from the president of NDC, Hafiz El-Zain. Floor is yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the invitation. I hope that I can give a good picture of what we're doing. We started this program focusing on agriculture in 2020 with the economic downturn in Lebanon, and especially with the big tightness in the grains availability, and therefore making bread for the public. So we looked at what's going on and realized that 90% of our consumption comes from importation. So we decided to embark on a journey where we try to increase domestic production of grains in order to replace the imported grains and get to a point where we're able to provide a model for expanding domestic production, at least to generate and produce sufficient proportion of the consumption that would constitute strategic reserves for the country. So it is an important target for national security, national food security. That's the vision that we had. And on that vision, we put a 10-year plan. That plan was built on exponentially increasing areas planted with the grains and pulses year after year, and then use high yield heirloom seeds that would be distributed to farmers, which would increase productivity and production per unit area. And then as production expands, we also expand infrastructure and services to farmers, and with the farmer being the centerpiece of this journey and this endeavor, it is important to minimize the cost of production per unit area. So the idea is increase productivity per unit area, reduce production cost per unit area. And then in the first year, we started with just 260 kilograms, working with one farmer on 8 dunums, 0.8 hectares. And that was our pilot. And we quickly expanded in the second year into 1.9 tons planted. Those were the children, or what came out of those 260 kilos. And we experimented with processing 400 kilos of the harvest into various food products. From the 1900 that we replanted, we got 16 tons, of which we replanted 12 tons. And now, last year, we got 120 tons that we used 40 tons of for processing and 60 plus tons for replantation. So this year, we're expecting an 800-ton harvest, starting with the 260 kilos 4 years ago. And of those 800 tons, we're hoping that we will be able to replant about 160 tons and process approximately 600 tons of grains. So we focused on replantation the first 3 years, replanting 80% or more of the harvest. And then this year, we are switching into increasing significantly the proportion that is being used for processing food products. So this is the model that we're working on. And in the second year, this is where the SJIP came in. They basically did a number of things for the project in various aspects of its implementation. The first was helped us purchase the crops, the harvest from our partner farmers. And those were 10 farmers at the time. The harvest was not huge. It was 16 tons. And then we also started putting the seeds for a machinery service unit. We bought a few small-scale machines, plus 2 vehicles, transport vehicles. And we did a number of infrastructure work as well, which basically transformed the project and allowed it to go into the third year, or the third phase of its expansion, exponential expansion. So the model basically is built on each year we set a new baseline and we expand on that baseline in all directions, whether it is infrastructure, increasing replantation, increasing food processing, improving food processing, working on various services that would reduce cost, and various processes that would increase productivity. And that's basically what we do every year with the new baseline that we establish. So like I told you, this year, our baseline is going to be 160 tons to be replanted next year, which will give us approximately 2,000 tons in 2025. Now, the model, the importance of the model is it is a purely social economics model, with the farmer being the centerpiece of that model. It is social economics because it is merging first crop production, second traditional processing of food products, and three socially aware markets. So we basically try to include our food products into baskets that go to the needy, displaced, or immigrants, direct to consumer entities like the Kenton Ness and Ba'lin, which was also funded by COSV, and into local markets with having our partner farmers as our own salespeople. Basically, some of them get the food products and sell them locally in their communities as a payment for their crops. So they give us the crop, we give them the food products, and this way they make more money. So that's a unique model that basically integrates both the grassroots work that NDC is doing and the food processing and marketing segment, which is done by NDC's partner, Partners in Wellness and Research, PWR. So this year is a major transitional year for food processing and marketing, because we are expanding from 40 tons being processed last year into 450 tons being processed this year. And also trying to lock in markets and orders for the food products that we will be producing within those socially aware markets. And hope if that was successful, we would have created a self-reliant, self-sufficient model that can perpetuate itself, but while expanding each year between 3 and 5-fold over the previous year, with the goal of achieving 40,000 tons produced by 2028. Now, the other important aspect of this model is that the partnerships, the farmers are partners in this cooperative model. So basically, we do group purchases of fertilizers, of supplies, and we do group processing of food products that everybody ends up also using and marketing. And we are planting throughout Lebanon. Currently, we are in 14 districts of Lebanon with 232 farmers. Services are intended to be balanced and distributed throughout different muhafaza of Lebanon. This is in total contradiction and diversion from the previous model where everything was centered in Beirut, where the merchants are, and in Port Beirut, where the major silos are that got blown away 3 years ago. So,
Dr. Hafiz, in conclusion, just last words.
The last word is, we work with a large number of local organizations and co-ops as well. And we hope that this model can be transformed and transcribed to other areas in the world as well, because it is a model that basically utilizes local resources and intends to fortify strategic reserves of the strategic agricultural products. Thank you.
Amazing grassroots model from the NDC team. Now for our next panelist, we will hear from David Sakka. He is an architect, a humanitarian consultant, the SE unit side. Sorry, Muhammad.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
I think we have time for that, yes.
Yes, I'm going to be very brief, but thank you, Dr. Hafiz, for the detailed explanation, and it's quite going very amazing. As you can see, based on the model of NDC, where you can start with, which is basically the social contract that happened. It was the core, as Dr. Hafiz was saying, the farmer is the centerpiece of this whole project. So this social contract happened with the farmers, which was a win-win strategy to activate this program. And of course, the program not targeted only grains, but also, as you can see, poultry, animal, natural feed, seasonal vegetables, fruits, and so on. And of course, the major reason is to definitely decrease the importation as well as to strengthen the value chain in the areas that they are implementing. So they organized a strong value chain from the farmer to the producer, and then definitely to the end user, which have created a strong and inclusive partnership between them. And of course, the model increased the quality of the production because the farmers are already receiving the trainings on site, and there's a quality control that is conducted on a daily basis. And after that, which is very important, the end result is the production is being redistributed among the farmers, of course, part of it, to be replanted again, and then have a multiple effect, which is higher and higher tons of grains and vegetables to support food security and decrease importation in Lebanon. For the policy implication that you can see, this is a sort of a social cooperative that resulted from this specific model, where they are organizing the villages as hubs, and they are activating the value chain to enhance collaboration between farmers, producers, and then to impact the agri-food transformation and to create more inclusive jobs in the region. Thank you so much, Dr. Hafiz, again.
Now, last
Thank you,
but
everyone.
not least.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now, last but not least, we will hear from David Sa'a, architect and humanitarian consultant, co-founder of the Liqa Neighborhood Gathering, our next community enterprise model.
Thank you, Aisha. Hello, everyone, and thanks for having me or having us as Liqa. So we are residents that live in a neighborhood in Beirut, where we have formed a local collective and are all volunteering as active citizens to improve our community through activities that bring the residents together. So we believe that together we can make a difference in the quality of life where we live. We want to live in a cleaner, greener, and more connected neighborhood. We also want to take care of one of the few remaining and unique public spaces in Beirut, the Jesuit Public Garden, which you see next in the slide, and leave a legacy for the next generation. We have started activities for the community that are cultural, social, artistic, environmental, promote wellness, and more. We partnered with a Sabil Association, which is a Beirut Public Library located in the Jesuit Garden, and together we were awarded our first support funded from the Social Justice Incubation Program to launch our initiative and start our community enterprise. Our activities are conceived and led by residents, including monthly subhiye gathering, weekly walking club or weekly tai chi, chess gathering, urban composting, cleaning the garden, and other underdevelopments. Participation in these activities is donation-based or free, so that all interested residents are able to join for free if they don't have the capacity to donate. In order to be financially sustainable, we plan to have other revenue-generating activities like the garden market. So the slide you see are pictures, part of them pictures from the garden market that are currently, we are currently preparing for the second edition after our last success last year, that it will take place in 10 days, in 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of June, together with the Fête de la Musique, inside the Jesuit Public Garden. So we collaborate with individuals, collectives, businesses, services, and associations in the neighborhood that want to improve the neighborhood and support the community. So Liqa is open to anyone that wants to join and share in our mission, regardless, of course, of gender, ethnicity, political affiliation, or religion. So we hope to connect people together and encourage collaboration beyond our initiative. So through the different layers of support that we got from the Social Justice Incubation Program, which is divided between technical and financial, LICA managed to realize its dream and shift from a local community initiative toward a structured community enterprise. So the creation of the market garden back in June 23 last year, which was the first one, was not less than a party for the neighborhood, had a great success nationally, where we managed to give life for a public space, unfortunately was almost abandoned, where everyone came and enjoyed the music, the vendors, the different food. Our local neighbors and vendors were really very satisfied, visitors as well. So joining the Social Justice Incubation Program made us reach our objectives through spark economic activity that has been falling since the economic crisis in Lebanon, rejuvenate and communally manage neglected green spaces, reactivate and disengage community, rebuild relationship with the municipality and local NGOs, because the municipality of Beirut is a big partner for this initiative, and we got actually an approval to do activities, of course, different kind of activities in the garden, and finally advocacy for the neighborhood. So the fund itself gave us the opportunity to grow with other initiatives. So we had the opportunity to meet more than 20 initiatives. Aisha just mentioned 21. Sorry. And if I can say, these were inventors, not just initiative, but they were really great. And we end up collaborating together. So some of the initiatives that we met through the Social Incubation Program were part of the market. And this year as well, they were contacting us once we advertised and did a call for participants. So they will be as well participating in the second edition. The program as well was very easy in putting us in contact through different modalities, like the monthly meetings, the WhatsApp group that is still functioning. So that was great. We had a mentor supported us in guiding us, structuring ourselves and divide, which help us to define our values and objectives and have a governance model. Of course, with the financial support, we managed to purchase the items and tools for the creation of these activities, including the market. And now, with the great support, we are on our way to register as well our initiative. So we end up from a small local collective, and now we are kind of a reference for different urban social enterprise activities and pioneer for placemaking and initiative in Beirut City. So we develop our identity and values that we obey for. And so the legal registration, as I mentioned before, it's one in the process. Hopefully we will manage to finalize it. So this is from my side.
Thank you, David. Let's hear more about the synthesis and the framework that was studied within a community enterprise model such as the one of LICA.
Thank you, dear David, again. And this is very quickly, I'm going to go over this model based on this project that David just explained. So it started as liqa, as he said in Arabic. It's the gatherings that are happening in this neighborhood, and they started as community talks. So who better can actually understand what are the needs and what are the available resources other than the community members living in this neighborhood? So those talks created a sort of an agreement, maybe it could be like a sort of an agreement between them to better enable or secure and activate this public space. And they organized garden market, as well as they had several eco-cultural activities, also in collaboration with the public library that is already available in that area. So this had helped them in generating the well-being for the people living around and gave a sense of security for the people who are entering into this garden, playing within the premises of this garden and so on. And definitely they are generating a sort of an income coming from the organization of those markets, as well as the compost that was already installed in this market, and part of this income is being reinvested to re-energize the library, as well as to reduce the cost of the library, as well as the people who are taking care of this garden. So if you go to the second slide to just see the policy implication, as David was saying, they're trying to register this this community enterprise as an NGO. And this is basically an entrepreneurial non-profit model, because basically they are focusing on the participatory governance between the library, the people living in the neighborhood, to preserve and to activate this common good, this common public good, to ensure social cohesion, inclusive and livelihood, by creating a sort of job opportunities for the people in Jusui area. Thank you again, David, and I'll leave the floor to Aisha and my colleague Annalisa.
Thank you. Thank you to all the panelists for sharing their experience within the Social Justice Incubation Program as examples of social and solidarity economies and collaborative frameworks in Lebanon and the Mediterranean region. Next up, we will hear from our Social Economy Unit Director and Specialist, Annalisa, on key findings and implications of the studies that were done.
Yes, thank you, but definitely we are also a bit on late. I'm really also excited to maybe hear from you some other specific comments and questions. I will make it very brief beyond what is the official recommendation that we came out. Basically, what is important in this action research that we did is that diversity, diverse approach to the social economy for us is the most effective when it comes to country like Lebanon, that the concept and the practice and the culture is still undergoing. What we have seen is that general social entrepreneurship and programs are one size fitting for all, so which means a very standardized program that the ecosystem is offering. What we came out as a major insight is that definitely one size fitting for all doesn't ensure the long-term or the short-term impact of the solution that social entrepreneurship are able to provide. For example, one of the major discovery is that definitely there is a strong willing to collaborate for a new welfare approach rather than a business approach. Definitely the business side is always strongly important, but what we have learned from our participant is that they have more in mind how the future of, let's say, human rights and market transportation can involve the public authority despite the collapse of the state or the weakness of the state. And but definitely to allow them to achieve this impact is essential to enlarge, let's say, the possibility to engage public authority in incubation program and allow them to work on that. Then definitely what is important, since we are talking about diversity for a donor or a foundation that want to support a program, should be very clear which is the policy priority that the donor or the agency, whatever will be the funding agency, should have in mind, because not all the organization can achieve the social justice or the market transformation in the same way. For example, the case of David is very strong in terms of social cohesion and also in livelihood, definitely cannot be under pressure to create a huge market transformation or reaching some standards in terms of employment opportunity. Other model, for example, the NDC model is more strong in promoting, let's say, market transportation, sustainable employment and market transportation. So when it comes to social entrepreneurship, what should be very clear is that which is the priority in terms of policy we want to support in order not to oblige the existing social entrepreneurs to force them in one standards that definitely will reduce their operation and also their impact. Yes, this is another important topic. One of the two, let's say, concept that we are highlighting in Lebanon. One is the social cooperative concept, because before this action research, everybody was keeping say that the cooperative model is failed in Lebanon. But definitely we see that there are a lot of practitioners that are trying to build a new collaborative model, maybe inspired from cooperative principle, but definitely not using, let's say, the existing law or so actually probably there is potential in the future to update the existing law on social cooperative to support this type of model. Another aspect is the entrepreneurial and no-profit model. Usually is a misunderstood concept, like that if you don't have a profit and if you are not profitable, you are not sustainable. What we are trying to advocate also with this action research is that there is a space also for this type of organization that definitely are contributing to the advancement of social justice, so using a different and new, let's say, for the context, of course, approach, maybe without a shareholding mechanism, maybe without a pure, let's say, SMEs operation, but definitely they are sustainable because they use hybrid resources, so from grants and also from service. So for me, I will let the floor to the audience if there are any questions and comments, and thank you for participating today.
Thank you, Annalisa. We have the last 10 minutes that we would like to allocate to any questions. Some questions were raised and we were trying to answer in real time, but if there's anything that we can reiterate looking at the questions in both actually the chat and the Q&A section. I will start with the question we have in the Q&A section from Alea. Sirak, a non-profit model where the entire profits are channeled to the schools, or is it a revenue share model where the SME shares the profit with the school? This is a very interesting question and one that we had several deliberations for with all the partners and stakeholders involved. I will share briefly the response, and if any of my colleagues would like to add, we will do so. Now, for the school enterprise model, which is the first model that was introduced, which are production units in public technical schools, public meaning they are affiliated with the Ministry of Higher Education and part of the Directorate General for Vocational Technical Education in Lebanon. The model being a social enterprise, the enterprise part means that everyone that is participating as shareholders or as stakeholders of the initiative need to have a reason and a commitment to continue. Naturally, that in a social enterprise, it's about impact, it's about giving back, it's about doing something that is good for the community, the environment, and but it is also about continuity. In the current models that we were looking for, we were understanding each in three of the different school enterprise models, what is a way where profit sharing, let's say, goes back to the benefit of the school. And when I say school, we are talking about the development of the production unit, the accessibility of expertise and tools in the unit, and general revenue that could help this added value within the technical school, which is a production unit that links the students and the technicians in the school to the job market and the job market needs on a learning level, on a, let's say, experience level, as well as partnering up with private sector organizations, basically companies of different legal structures, so that they can also be a part of this and sustain the cost of their operation within this school enterprise model. So yes, the benefit was for all the partners involved. Is there anything to add on this from my colleagues? Okay. We're going to look at other questions that were presented, and please write away in the chat if or the Q&A if there are any more questions. We have a sharing from Rami Al-Shaar regarding Ruwad Al-Tanmiya working on developing a business model for the Economic Justice Unit, which focuses on economic justice and access to resources. This will be achieved through promoting a solidarity economy, ultimately leading us to a cooperative economy. We are actually in our current project working with Ruwad Al-Tanmiya in a new project at COS. We would love to know more. Please feel free to reach out to us after this project, and we'd love to explore ways that we can share our vision and collaborate as is the best way really to bring about the impact for social and solidarity economy. I'm trying to see if there are any more questions, just scrolling through. It's in the meantime, it's a good time to remind you all to take the post-panel survey. Walid, if you can please share the link again to see how you felt after this session, and if you have any additional comments or sharing that you would like to be engaged with. Barbara Ibrahim writes that I think the concept of the circular economy is promising and one that deserves its own session and a critical discussion, including economists who can help us with measurement tools and so forth. This is excellent feedback for both CoProfit and the Arab Foundations Forum for future engagements and sessions. All right. Thank you very much. I think I went over all the questions. I'm trying to see again. I see no additional questions. I give the floor back to you, Walid.
Aisha, thank you so much. And I would like to thank Mohammed, Annalisa, and all the panelists for being here with us, discussing such an important topic. Just as a wrap up, and thank you all for being on time. We have recorded the session. It's going to be available on AFF website and our YouTube channel. We're going to be following up with our attendees today with the link to the policy papers that were produced and the website for COSV. If you have any questions, I will share with you Mohammed's email if you have any questions, if you want to have separate discussions regarding those topics. That's the whole objective of those sessions. And if anyone, Rami from Ruwad, if you were doing similar projects, it would be great if we can all connect on those and maybe cooperate, get the key learnings from each other. I want to thank you again for your time, and if you have any questions, please direct them to me at any point. And again, cannot believe that we are on time, on the dot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Very refreshing listening to everyone in the webinars and the panelists.
Thank you.
Until the next AFF session.